Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Now, this Super Bowl is definitely something that just keeps echoing, doesn't it? It just keeps echoing all of these revelations. And it goes very, very deep, as we just covered the whole Taylor Swift entourage on yesterday's show. If you missed that, you're definitely going to want to take a look at that. And the eclipse symbolism pointing forward to the eclipse that's coming up with the comet next to it. Now, if any of this is confusing, then you've got to go back and get caught up on this, because we've been talking about the fire and ice for now 5 years. Here's what was revealed to me yesterday. What did Usher actually usher in during the Super Bowl halftime show? That is the question. And in what reality does every other artist, many far less popular than Usher, how did he become a Super Bowl guest at this point in his career, when his career is over? We've seen all the other people do Super Bowl halftime shows, haven't we? And all of a sudden, his career is supposedly over or close to over, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they choose Usher. And it seems to me that they were waiting for him so that they could usher something in, saving him for the last act, so to speak, right? Well, I have something today that I'm going to show you that's going to blow your mind, because in looking at all of these actors and characters in the cast of The Enemy, something was revealed. The Usher Ludacris Rabies Matrix. So, let me take you on the rabbit hole. Here's the scene. Usher with Ludacris at his right hand. I don't know who this guy is, but that could be another decode. Today we're talking about Ludacris. And so, as I was looking at the halftime show, and over the last 24, 48 hours, the Holy Spirit told me to look at Rabies. And I was like, okay, let's look at Rabies. We've looked at it 100 times, haven't we? When we were looking at I Am Legend and the whole Rabies meme, and we've done lots and lots of videos on Rabies. But why now? Why was the Holy Spirit telling me to look at Rabies? Well, I got to this part of the Rabies, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Ludicrous is the root word for rabies, or L-U-D, lewd. The name rabies is derived from Latin rabies, meaning madness. The Greeks derived the word lyssa from lewd, or violent. This root is used in the genus name of the rabies virus, Lyssa virus. And I was like, I'm blown away, because then the connection was made. Ludacris was ushered in by Usher during the Super Bowl halftime show. Wow. Now, if you think this is a stretch, I would have never done a video just based off of L-U-D, the first three letters of Ludacris's name, if I didn't have other evidence, right? You can't make a case with one piece of evidence. There has to be multiple pieces of evidence to decode and decipher their symbolism. And here was the other evidence that I got. Apparently, there was some beef between Cat Williams and Ludacris. This was just happened. January 17th, leading into the Super Bowl. It's not like I cherry-picked this from years and years ago. And what were they fighting about? Well, apparently there was a rap battle going on. And Cat Williams said this about Ludacris in a rap battle. You heard the interview on Club Shay Shay. I gave them all a payday. I'm still going effing viral. So, why care what the haters say, Ludacris? You must be out your rabid mind. Viral and rabid. Lud means rabies. And some other stuff he said. These are called signals, aren't they? Now, I dug deeper into Ludacris because I'd never looked at him before. To me, he was just a silly rapper. Well, apparently, Ludacris has some very overt symbolism in his life imprint. He was born with Trump numbers all over him. 9/11/77. And he's 46, which was the year Trump was born. We also know that Trump is the number 77. Now, I don't see any other connections between Ludacris and Trump other than this very bizarre connection here. Right? His original name was Christopher Brian Bridges, which is BBC in reverse, which is 322. So, some weird stuff going on. They actually even called him Luda as a short, confirming the rabies connection. Now, I don't know any other rabies connections other than the ones that I just showed you. There may be songs in which he talks about this. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. But these are the beginnings of something forming as we begin to look at these ushering in rabies on the stage. You know, they've been talking a lot about disease X, right? And it's this big bad wolf that nobody can define. They just call it a future disease. Disease X, and we have an eclipse X coming up. We know that the Super Bowl before the pandemic ushered in the Super Bowl, ushered in the virus, didn't it? This was the beginnings of it, and there were clues all throughout that Super Bowl in 2020, early 2020, that seemed to signal what we were all about to go through. This is when they started talking about who they were and were not going to allow to come to the Super Bowl. They were like floating this at that time in February 2020 before we went full-blown pandemic. So here we are again, 4 years later, and they seem to be signaling virus and rabies again. Now, how does Trump fit into this? Well, I believe he very may well be the father of rabies. Now, how can I say that? Well, let's break this down even further. Because I read about rabies. And rabies acts in almost the same way as the side effects of the Smack the Nation. It attacks the nervous system. Sometimes people don't even know they have it for years. It sits dormant in the body based on what kind of viral load that you had when you were infected or exposed to it. And some people, it takes a gestation of years before they go full-blown rabies. Also, another reason why I see a connection between this and the Smack the Nation or the virus, both, is because of this attack on the nervous system, but also this. Only the patient becomes symptomatic, once the patient becomes symptomatic, treatment is almost never effective, and mortality is over 99%. Rabies may also inflame the spinal cord and produce transverse myelitis. Where have we heard that before? I'll just let you read what's on your screen. The attack on the central nervous system. Are the two connected? Well, it remains to be seen, doesn't it? It remains to be seen. Now, over the last couple days, we've been talking about amnesia, the erasing of the mind. We talked about the Erase Your Brain Taylor Swift tour, in which people were losing their minds. They could not remember what happened. Well, this meme is now continuing into our current reality. What am I talking about? Well, many of you remember or have heard about the Super Bowl Chiefs player, Kansas City Chiefs player, the one that actually won the Super Bowl. What are they saying now? He's saying he blacked out. He doesn't remember catching the football. Do I have your attention? I hope I do, because this is all we've been talking about is amnesia. It wasn't that he got hit really hard and lost his memory. He literally forgot about what happened. Let's take a look. Now, Patrick Mahomes gave him some grief because he's like, dude, why aren't you excited? Uh-oh, looks like we have some issues. Are you guys having internet issues today? Crazy. Let's try to refresh this. Okay, there we go. Let's try to fix this here. So, Patrick Mahomes roasts Mecole Hardman for Super Bowl blackout. Look at this. With a short pass to the end zone, Patrick Mahomes and Mecole Hardman claimed the third Super Bowl victory of the Mahomes era in Kansas City on Sunday. In the aftermath, Mahomes couldn't believe how little Hardman celebrated at first. Crashing Hardman's interview with the NFL Network, Mahomes grabbed a mic. "Can I tell a quick funny story?" the quarterback asks. "Please," one of the hosts answered. Minutes before, during the presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy, Hardman had told commentator Jim Nantz that he had blacked out when he caught the ball, in which Nantz immediately moved on from the interview. What the heck is going on here? Why would the guy immediately move on from the interview? It's almost as if Hardman spilled the beans on something. Now, there are bizarre theories out there, and they're not so bizarre when you really think about this. There are theories that there are electronics inside of the football that could be interfering with the play or controlling the players on the field. I mentioned a channel called Jake the A-Hole, and he shows one particular incident in which two players, one with the number 9 on it and one with the number 11 on it, basically looked as if someone had flipped a switch as they both fell down into their own footprint in tandem. Unexplainable synchronicities happening before your eyes. Why would this guy move on from the interview like this after he just was told that he blacked out? Let's keep reading here. "I threw a touchdown to this dude to end the game." This is Mahomes talking. "And he looked at me," Mahomes told the NFL Network. "He had no idea. I said, dude, we just won the Super Bowl." He said he blacked out. He had no idea. I'm like, bro, because he hadn't even celebrated at the beginning. I'm like, what are we doing? Hardman laughed along with the rest of the panel. "It's time to celebrate now," he said. Wow. Then they go on to say Hardman had a bizarre season. He started his career with the Chiefs but signed a $4 million deal with the Jets. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the play here. Let's see if we can pull this up. Here's the play here. And I got this in slow motion. Now, you don't really see anything here per se that I could see. So there's Mahomes back here. Now, how the 49ers didn't see all of the Chiefs players lining up on the right-hand side, how they didn't see that makes no sense to me. All the Niners are lined up on the left-hand side. Now, I'm not a huge football, technical, I don't have a technical understanding of football. I do know these teams fake it, so they could have been lining up on the right to fake it. But you gotta cover this. This is the whole game right here, right? So the Niners are on the left, Kansas City's on the right. Looks like they're about to throw a screen pass. And then you get this. This player is uncovered right here. This might be Hardman here. There's nobody covering this guy. The closest guy to him is this guy back here. Let's see what happens next. This is shocking. Here comes Mahomes. Again, Hardman is still uncovered. He's wide open. And this 49ers player is the closest to. There's two. This looks like double coverage, doesn't it? How did they let him get way over here, off in the corner with all this room left? Let's keep watching. And there goes the pass to Hardman, who's wide open. And look, number 33. It's all his fault. And Hardman is, I think, number 12, so that's a 66. And there's your 99 red balloons right there. 66 and 33 is 99, which means virus. He catches the winning touchdown. And there you have numerologically what appears to me to be signaling, I don't know, but this is just weird. So it looks like he's celebrating to me, but apparently Mahomes had a different idea. Weird. Now, this isn't the only memory thing happening. So now we got all this memory stuff, right? We got Erase Your Brain, Taylor Swift. We've got the winner of the Super Bowl forgetting and blacking out. What else is going on with the amnesia? Because you can't just start saying stuff without there being a pattern, right? Well, the memory meme is also extending into the very presidency, as Biden in his memory is now being questioned. Now, let me break this down for you, because this isn't what you think it is, okay? We've all known from years ago that Biden was not fit to be president. This is nothing new, you guys. It's nothing new. But now it's being called out. Why is that happening? Because they need you to vote Trump. They're basically gaslighting the right with this to hopefully trigger you to forego all of the work that we've all been looking at about how fake all of this is, and trigger you to go cast your consent for what Trump will do next. That's what this is. It's about you swearing an oath, giving your vow to vote, so that they can have permission spiritually to do the next phase of what they're going to do. And so now, going into the election, they are talking about how they don't know who's running the country because it ain't Biden, because he has no memory left. So they're gaslighting the right to fear you into voting. This is why they keep floating the idea of Michelle Obama. This is why they keep floating the idea of Kamala Harris. This is why they keep floating the idea that it isn't Biden at all that's running the country, it's secretly Obama, so that they can trigger you, if you're a right-leaning person, to go give your consent. And this will work on a lot of people. They'll forget about every decode we did. They'll forget it all, and they'll say, there's no way we can let Michelle Obama be president. There's no way we can let Kamala Harris be president. And everything you see in the political theater is to trigger you to go give your consent. And I hope you really, truly understand this. Nothing's been fixed, and it won't ever be. Nothing is going to change it. It's all manipulation. Now, here's another follow-up from the Super Bowl. Many of you guys are super sleuths out there. You're like, Casey, remember the Super Bowl ad with Anthony Hopkins? And he was talking about the fire and ice, the ice cold drink, the brew, and then the dragon being released. So the fire and ice. Well, you're like, Casey, Rex the dragon Rex the mascot is real. It's a dragon. And I completely missed that. I didn't even realize that. So this even gives Anthony Hopkins' words even more meaning, doesn't it? But here he is here, the Welsh mascot for the team Wrexham AFC football, which is soccer. They call it football, though. But it's pretty obvious at this point. Rex the Dragon. Now, let's get into some of these other weird stories for today. Listen, if you haven't gotten behind the Ukraine, you should be ashamed of yourself. No, I'm kidding, obviously. But this is the message. Even cats are braver than you. Look at this poor cat. I mean, where are the animal rights people? They got this cat. I mean, who writes this stuff? They got a cat in a flak jacket with a Ukrainian flag. Now, the first thing I thought was, I wonder if this is like a bomb sniffing cat or something. And then I just started laughing. I couldn't stop myself from laughing. I was just giggling uncontrollably. I mean, what is this cat in the special forces? Is he in the feline force? I mean, what is this? Look at this cute little cat with his sneaky eyes. I will defeat Russia. You can't make this up. Look at the flak jacket with the Ukrainian flag on it. So this is what's happening now. You are okay, I can't say the word. I can already see the jokes now in the comments. Let's go in here. Okay, how do I say this to be politically correct? Because what's the other word for a cat, right? So they're basically calling us the P word, is what I'm trying to say here without being vulgar. We're the big P words. Because if this P word can be brave enough to fight Russia, then we're all bigger P's than he is, right? Or her. Let's read this article. There's some cute pictures in here, but it's just silly, right? This is just silly. Cats have provided crucial comfort and emotional support to Ukrainian soldiers on the front lines. So now, I mean, who writes this stuff? They have also been the key to raising thousands of dollars in aid. One small cat can make big dreams come true. Cats have played a key role in supporting Ukrainian soldiers and civilians since Russia began its invasion, keeping troops company on the front lines and providing comfort for displaced citizens. They even help Ukraine raise funds for its military. Their soaring popularity on social media has led to thousands of dollars in donations for equipment and weapons for frontline soldiers. Oleksandr Lyshuk is a soldier from Odessa in southern Ukraine. He said he and his cat Sheba have collected $80,000 from their fundraising campaigns on social media. Look at this cat. Look at this guy. He's all serious. So we're all a bunch of P words, right? Because we can't get behind them. I mean, this is a cute cat, though. But is this all, like, made up? Let's keep reading here. His admirers are everywhere, from Chile to Japan, so Sheba's stories touch people's hearts worldwide, motivating them to contribute to the Ukrainian aid. Thanks to Sheba's fundraising effort. See, this is like, it's like shame. Shame-ba, they should call it. So they're trying to shame us all. So they bought military units and vehicles, anti-drone gun, thermal imaging camera. And there's Sheba, the shameful cat. We should be ashamed. Because even cats are joining the fight. Look at this cat. Cats crack me up, you know. Now, you'll remember there was a Super Bowl ad, a mayonnaise ad with a cat in it. Remember that? And the cat said, meow, meow, like mayo. And like it was supposed to be funny or whatever. But anyway, I thought you guys would get a kick out of this story. Now, what else do we have here? Here's some science. We're now living in the Mandela moment science chronicles. Guess what? Moths aren't actually drawn to the light as previously thought. So now our kids are going to grow up thinking that moths are not attracted to light, and they're going to argue with us about it at some point, because from their memory, all this has been debunked. Now, this should make you laugh, because science claims they know everything. So for years and years and years, we were told moths are attracted to light, and we were told you can't dream unless you're in REM sleep, and we were told all these other things that they're now discovering are complete lies. But they're now saying that, oh, moths aren't attracted to the light, they're orbiting. Let's read this, because there may be clues about this, right? At night, it's not unusual to find a horde of moths and other insects circling around a porch, light, or street lamp, but their reasons for being there are likely quite different from what most people assume. Now, research has found the insects are not actually drawn to the glow like moths to a flame, as the old saying suggests, but rather trapped in a disorientating orbit around the artificial light. Scientists report in the study January 30th. Now, this is interesting because there is a moth that burns into flames or bursts into flames in I Pet Goat 2. So I wonder if there's going to be some component to this in our current reality on some other level. Let's keep reading. By using motion capture cameras and filming with infrared illumination so as not to disrupt the creature's vision, the researchers showed that when the insects flew around a light source, they were tilting their backs toward the light and keeping their bodies in that direction. By maintaining this orientation, the hapless critters created odd orbits and steering patterns. Gaining a better understanding of the impact of artificial light on these winged creatures is crucial, as light pollution plays an increasing role in the decline of global insect populations. Artificial light confuses nocturnal insects. When artificial light does not interfere, nocturnal insects keep their backs pointed toward whatever direction is brightest, which is typically the sky versus the ground. This evolutionary trick has helped the critters know which way is up and keep them level during their night flights. I don't know, this sounds like complete hogwash, but here they've got some stop motion photography here showing how the moths keep their back to the light source. What if the light's on the ground? Will they fly upside down? Because that would totally debunk this, wouldn't it? If you put like a fire on the ground, for instance, there's a fire. Would if moths are still attracted to the fire, then they would be flying upside down, right? So I don't know if I buy this. I think this is hogwash. CNN. All right, what else do we have here? Jeez. Well, if you live in California, my mom sent me this story. She's like, son, they're going to start charging us based on how much money we make. So if you worked hard your whole life and you got some retirement, you're going to pay more money in energy costs. You're going to get hit with an extra fee so that you could pay for all the poor people. This is real. California wants to tie bills to income. Wow. So here we are with this whole, Now, listen. This punishes middle class and upper middle class people. This doesn't punish rich people, because rich people don't care if they pay a little extra fee, because in the grand scheme of things, it's very little money to them, okay? They blow their nose with $20 bills, these people. Their operating costs daily are in the thousands of dollars or several $100s a day that they're already spending. So to add a few cents on that won't matter. Who this punishes are people with incomes that are fixed, who are maybe barely getting by. So now they're paying an extra $30, $40 a month on their electricity bill for no reason other than they have a little bit more money than poor people. This is just unbelievable how this works. And see, this is why I believe our whole tax system needs to be redone. There shouldn't even be any taxes to begin with, but if you're going to make a tax, you have to back out just living costs, right? Operational costs of just being a human being. All the things you have to pay for, right? All of that should be tax deductible. You shouldn't be taxed on any of that. You shouldn't be taxed on what you pay in car insurance or what you pay in house insurance or anything. All of that should be backed out, because that is what makes people poor. You're basically working to exist. You're working to exist. Your rent, all of that should be tax deductible. Because rich people, if you want to have a bigger house and a much, much better apartment or whatever, because you're rich, then that's one thing. But if you're barely existing at the bare minimum of what it means to live in this world, all of that should be deductible. It should just start at a certain rate. Now, I got one last story, I think, here. Who would have known that a fusion reactor would be the same exact shape as a magnetic field? Right? Look at this. Now, we've seen this image, this magnetic field, in many, many, many tropes, film tropes. I've showed you this image in Star Wars movies. I've showed you in time travel movies. What this is, what you're looking at, is the core. You are looking at the trunk of a tree. You're looking at above and below. The branches above, the roots below is what you're looking at here. This is the basic shape of a toroid field, a magnetic field. And it just so happens that this whole new technology of fusion reaction is the shape of this experiment. And they're saying here that this fusion reaction has produced record amounts of energy in this experiment. So there's something to this. Believe it or not, this is the image of a human. We are made in the image of God. We have a core trunk of our body. We have limbs that are arms and feet that go off into branches, which are fingers and toes. We have a crown on top of our head. That's our crown. We set down roots in our family. Our fingerprints even look like tree rings. We were made in the image of God. So, these people are trying to recreate God, aren't they? Instead of having their faith in the next life and not of this world, they're trying to be kings in this world by creating these energy sources. This is not good, you guys. This is not good. So, let's go back in the chat for a little bit. That's pretty much all I had for you guys today. Thanks everybody for showing up. All right, let's go in here, see what you guys are up to. I did have to get rid of one troll yesterday. I was picking on my son. Gosh, some people, they just have they can't read the room, right? It's like, really? I share so much of my personal life, and then like, oh, they're going to use that now to try to pick us off. Well, you could go take a hike. I don't need that kind of energy on this channel. So, all right, good morning, everybody. But I need to be better about counting my blessings as well, right? All the rest of you guys are amazing. And I'm learning that in life to not even pretty much give these people airtime when they come at me. But sometimes you have to give an explanation because sometimes people drop out, right? And then everyone's like, where did so-and-so go? And then they think I'm the big bad guy that did something wrong and ran somebody off. So this is the only reason why I talk about it sometimes. All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Tucker Carlson interview. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. Did you guys see that red bracelet? The Juice Club bracelet that he had on? The red piece of string? And that's creepy because lots and lots of celebrities wear that. And that is a signal that they are controlled. We already know he's controlled, but why would he wear that like that? See, that's gaslighting because it gets everyone divided, right? Because there are people that are starting to wake up that believe Tucker Carlson. They think he's great. They're like, oh, he's not part of them. And then he's got this signature red string on his wrist. Right? So hopefully that will help you guys understand that everybody who you see on TV is controlled. Every single last one of them. Whether they like it or not, they are under control. They wouldn't let them be on TV. This is where YouTube has a problem because the algorithms can only do so much to keep controlling true people like us, right? At a certain point, people start to wake up and go, wow, you know what? That person should be a lot more popular than they are. And then the whole facade comes down. The whole Wizard of Oz facade comes down. Because you start to see how people are artificially throttled and artificially given a platform and popularity because they're towing the line, right? They're towing the line for the elite. And on some level, Tucker Carlson is towing the line as well. Controlling how you wake up, right? The fact is that until he were to denounce even Trump, he's part of the club. I'm sure, has he already endorsed Trump or he will at some point? I just know he will. He'll get all the votes for Trump. All the people following Tucker will say, hey, we need to choose the necessary evil. This is how they use these people. So, wow. A great question. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. Okay. Somehow rabies will fit into our future. And I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how widespread it's going to be, but it will become front page news likely in 2024. We already had a bunch of rabies news in 2023 after we start talking about it. But they're just basically priming the pump right now is what they're doing. They're priming the pump. It will probably have to do with disease X. And there will be some people like wilding out. They'll be similar to like meth heads, but they're going to be a lot more of them. So, all right. What else is going on, you guys? What else you guys want to talk about? What do you guys think of that cat? Wow. Like, who made that flak jacket for the cat, right? Unbelievable. Yes, that's what the red string is. It's the name that shall not be named. I call it the Juice Club. Barney likes the cat. I like the cat too, but I mean, geez. Oh boy. Cute cat is sitting there, has no idea what he's doing. You know, he has no idea, but they make it look like he does. I can't take this seriously. I probably missed all the good jokes. I'll watch this back and look in the chat and get all the good cat jokes so I can laugh today. Did I see the alien in Usher Blue and Blackout? Okay, let me ask you this. Who was the other rapper on the other side of Usher? So we have Ludacris, Usher, and who was the other rapper? One of you is going to know the answer to this. Yeah, right? That cat was just making me laugh. Meow. What freaks me out is when animals can see stuff we can't see, right? They're like staring off and you're like, what are you looking at? They like see into the spirit realm, I think. Oh, it's Little John, says David. So is Little John standing next to him? Maybe we should decode him. What if he's a Gemini? Oh, let's go back to the picture. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so Ludacris, Usher, and this guy. I don't even know who this is. He's got the zipper across the chest. What is going on here? Okay, so who knows who that guy is? Maybe we'll do a little live decode today. I'm not sure what we're going to find. We might find something. The rapper's Lil Jon. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's hear it. John, the rapper. All right, here we go. Lil Jon. Lil Jon. Let's take a look at him. Oh, boy. Okay, born January 17th, 71. Okay, so he's got a mirror in his birthday. 1771 is a mirror, right? Lil Jon. Let's see what else is going on here. See how old he is. Crunk? Boy. He's 53. I don't really see anything apparent here. Lil Jon. 1770. Oh, could be Q, I guess. I don't know. That'd be a bit of a stretch. But thanks for that, you guys. All right, what else is going on? I enjoy watching those animal videos. You know, I just sit and just laugh at the animal videos. They're cute. When you see like dogs and like little kittens, you know, or you see like cats and like little chicks or something. So you don't know crunk music? Yeah, I'm a music tard. I I listen to like old music. I mean, you know, it's not that old, but yeah. Okay. What's that mean if you have a mirror in your birthday? It signifies a portal, something going in and coming out, something opening, like a gate opening. But like, look, a lot of this stuff only applies to. There's a good side version and a bad side version, right? Obviously, I was born on the 88th day of the year. Look at all the meaning we found in the number 88. So obviously, as this applies to me, it's the revelation of truth, right? That the Holy Spirit is imparting upon me to reveal these things to all of you. So this is why we have much deeper meaning of the number 88. And this is confirmed in many, many ways over the years, right? So, but the enemy also has a version of the number 88, which we've seen manifest in all of their, you know, all their lore, their 88 lore, right? So, animal circus. Every afternoon it's a mixed animal circus. Dogs, cats, rabbits, chickens. That is so cool. All right. All right, you guys. Well, I love each and every one of you. Likely see you guys all tomorrow. Got some stuff to decode. I kind of gave up on True Detective. It just was such a lame season. I just can't. I can't with them anymore. All of their tropes and memes, and it's just, I just can't. It was one of the worst True Detective seasons I've ever watched. They're all in the ice, and it's all about everything else. It's all about social issues. It's like, get to the darn detective. Find out why the people died. Like, do we have to wait till the last episode to find out how the scientists died and were frozen in the ice? Like, and look, I know it's important to get through this season because of the 3 Kansas City players, or not players, but Kansas City Chiefs fans that were found frozen, right? So it ties in directly to True Detective because the same thing happened in the series before it happened, right? So that's the only thing keeping me hanging on. But the whole season is about all these dysfunctional relationships, right? Gay agenda, just a bunch of Karens. In the whole season, I'm like, I can't do this, God. I'm like, I'm trying. I know there's a point to this. And it's like, just solve the darn murders. But it looks like we're going to have to get to the last episode to finally solve the murders of what happened to the scientists. Now, here's one thing that's interesting, and I'll end the show with this. One thing that is interesting about the True Detective with Jodie Foster, she's the lead detective, is that there's this component to it about something in the water. Something in the water is poisoning the town, and it only seems to affect the native Eskimos in the town. And so they protest. They start protesting the oil company, I believe it is. So here's your black goo component, right? That are drilling next to the town and killing people. They're just dying off one by one from various cancers and things like this. And so there is an important component to this, but I got to wade through all the nonsense to get to what it actually is about, right? So, all right, you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.